with us today 4 young people who have achieved a level of recognition that only a small percent of high school seniors in our nation achieve, and that is National Merit Commended. Isn't that what you all for? And it is my pleasure to pick your brain in hopes that some of our audience might glean something that would help them as they are raising their young people, to inspire them as a family or as a caregiver, that they could include in their family. What has made you didn't get to this point 17, 18 years old, maybe 19, that as an island, a community invested in you, a family, neighbors, school teachers, maybe clubs or Boy Scouts, etc., that have invested in you. I've never seen a young person get this designation that couldn't list several pieces that they feel have contributed to them being an outstanding young person, and you all are. I can say that. I'm not expecting you to. But I want to introduce them to you. We have Ryan Farmacka, and he's from Lakeview High School. And we have Audrey Barrett, and we have Jaclyn Johnson, and Emily Price from Central High School. Have all of you been most of your schooling so far in San Angelo, or have some of you been in other districts?
I've spent my entire life in San Angelo. I was born and raised.
Okay.
I've been to many of the different campuses, mostly through elementary. I was moved all over, but I've always been within SAISD.
Okay, wow. And that's nowadays is a little bit unique. What about the rest of y'all?
I think we're all born and raised.
Wow.
Well, I moved around a lot when I was little, but I started kindergarten here, so I've been here since kindergarten.
Well, that is nowadays, especially in a city that has an Air Force base, and I had a childhood that had some military movings. That's pretty unique, and I think that's really neat. Mm-hmm. You all are fixing to graduate in just a very short few months. Talk to us about, and Ryan, we'll start with you, what today you believe you are interested in as a major or majors, as you and I have previously discussed, and where do you think you might like to go on with your schooling? Because all of you are going on.
Yes.
Excellent. What a shame to be so bright if you weren't planning. Okay, Ryan, start with you.
Well, schoolwork has always been just an interest of mine. I don't know why, it just has. That's how I work. Whenever I was put into the GT program at Santa Rita, it got to me, and it was in the 6th grade. I had a teacher named Danny Eckert. He showed up in my math class and he just astounded all the students with simple little math tricks. Just, look, I can manipulate these numbers to do whatever I want. Wow. He made me interested in mathematics, and he offered me the ability to join a math team, UIL, travel all around the state, participate in these competitions and win prizes. Just enjoy yourself. I fell into it in the 6th grade, and I'm still in it.
And still want to stay.
I'm still in it, and I still want to stay. I'm running the math team at Lakeview High School now, and mathematics is now very close to me. I'm taking a calculus course. I hope to pass an AP exam, and I want to go on with that. And I have an ability, I suppose, to remember things and recall things. I don't know why and I don't know where it came from. I've just got it. And I'd like to help other people find it. I like teaching and tutoring. I do a lot of volunteer tutoring with all of my previous teachers and all of my peers. And as far as a major, I know I want to major in something mathematical. whether it be engineering or just a general degree. And I want to help somehow. I either want to help society or help individuals as a teacher.
Way to go. And you told me prior to this interview that right now you're really feeling drawn to Texas Tech.
Yes. Texas Tech it's a large campus in a medium to large size town here in Texas. I love the state.
Well, good for you. Well, I am impressed that you already at your age, you're thinking about helping someone else. It's more, I think, developmentally what I see in sometimes a full-time job just to take care of yourself, to get you where you need to be, get your work turned in. So you're to be commended, Ryan, for already thinking like that. Okay, Audrey, what about you?
Well, at this point, I really like the idea of an English major, but my problem has always been that I don't really know how to narrow it down because I'm interested in a lot of different things. I do theater, I've played piano for all my life, and so I'm unsure about where I'll end up. But at this point, I like the idea of being an English major, possibly becoming a writer or editor or something like that. I want to do something where I can create things that make people happy, I guess is the best way to put it.
And do you have a school chosen?
Rice is my top pick right now, and then I'm also looking closely at St. Edward's and Trinity, and then Southwestern and UT is my backup.
Well, maybe UT will move up on your
yeah.
list.
I love UT. Rice is still in
I have
Texas.
to, you know, and our audience knows, I nudge. But all of those are good picks, and you have some months that will flesh out for you. All of them good. Wow. What about your plans?
Well, ultimately, like for a career path, I'd love to be like in business administration and do like management. But for a major, I'm looking at A&M, their industrial engineering program. I think it's an excellent stepping stone to kind of get in there because you can apply that to so many different fields.
Like what? What would you do with that major?
Well, with that, it's more like dealing with systems and people. And the majority, if you have an industrial engineering degree, typically you can move up the ladder much faster into a management situation. And so I would love to do that and then have a minor in business. And then after that, hopefully get my MBA and kind of
So
set my
you're
path.
pretty stuck on that Aggie path, are you?
Oh yeah, I joined the cult a while ago.
Yes.
Well, that's okay.
But I'm also looking at Rice, just for another
Yeah.
one. But for most likely, it'll be A&M.
Okay, well, great choice of major. I don't know of a student that I can remember who's majored in industrial engineering, so that's why I'm not as familiar with it as the other types of engineering. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm interested in international relations and global studies and foreign languages, so I want to work for the government in the future, so.
Now, how did you arrive at that? You just didn't wake up one day.
No, I actually did a program a couple of summers ago at American University in DC on intelligence and national security, and that really, I loved it. And so that is definitely what I want to do. I want to work for the government.
How did you even know about that?
I was just kind of on the internet, just because I like to do a summer program every single summer, just an enrichment program, I can expose myself to different subjects. So I was researching it, and I found it, and I applied and got in, and it was awesome.
And what about it stood out for you that really piqued your interest?
I don't know, I've always been interested in different cultures. I've always loved to travel. I love listening to different languages and trying to discern which one they are. So I knew that I wanted to do something where I was exposed to different cultures and different areas of the world.
And how old were you when you went for that summer experience?
How old was I?
Uh-huh.
I think that was the summer before 10th grade.
Okay, because I know families who listen to these interviews, that would pique their interest of use of summertime. And so you've tried to do an enrichment summer experience. Have any of you else had a unique summer experience that has enriched you? Go ahead, Ryan.
I actually, every summer until recently, I've gone to go and see my sister who lives in Round Rock, Texas, up near Austin with her husband and her kids. You know, I'm Uncle Ryan. They all just want to go and see their uncle. And the last time I was there, it was the summer after my 10th grade year. I was with my brother-in-law. He runs a networking and IT computer corporation, and he offered me an internship to basically follow him around, spend some time with him, learn what he's doing, computer science.
And you mentioned earlier that that could possibly be one of your majors along with a mathematical. So that internship, and I know both of my husband's and my children, we tried to get them in, even if it was a non-paying internship, if there was some occupation that piqued their interest, for them to voluntarily do internships. So I highly recommend them for folks. Either of you ladies do any summer enrichment?
Well, I usually like to take my summers off from schoolwork per se and do something really creative over the summer. So I've gone to camps for piano several years, and then I've gone to a couple years ago I went to the International Thespian Festival, which is a big theater convention basically. So I just like to take my summers to have fun and further study the things that I really love to do that are creative.
And don't have that much time during the school year to do. Yes. What about you?
Well, 2 summers ago, I went for the People to People Student Ambassador Program, went to Europe and loved it. And it kind of just sparked, I love to travel now and hope to be successful enough.
Are not fearful of travel.
Yeah, I'm not fearful of travel at all. And I just would love to just go back and continue and go see Italy again. And it really inspired me to want to do more and be able to travel a lot more often. And then this past summer, NASA, they have a high school aerospace scholars program.
Yeah, we both did that. Yeah.
And that actually kind of further intrigued me into the engineering field and kind of solidified that career path for me too. And that was a really interesting summer. That was a good time.
That was fun.
Okay, you didn't speak, you spoke to your major, but about where you think you might like to go to school.
It's kind of undecided at this point, but because I'm applying to a bunch of places.
That's good.
But probably at the top, maybe Georgetown or William & Mary, and then UT, and I'm applying to a bunch of places.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Well, but that gives us a flavor of your interests.
Yes.
Well, young people, you are closing a chapter in your lives of living at home and having someone to make sure that you are going down the path, and now you're fixing to start a new era. And this designation that you have just received is a powerful thing it can open doors for you on your resume. And we're proud of you. And what now I would like to know is there anything that you haven't mentioned? We've talked a little bit about summer experiences, but do you think of anything that either your parents or someone in your life has nudged you to do that has enriched you to be a better student or to expand your interests besides your schooling?
Well, the first thing that I think of when I think about what my parents have done, it's been just give me support. They're kind of the perfect balance between really easygoing yet strict enough to keep me on track, but they've never once told me what to do when it comes to school. I was just raised to be really self-driven and to not do homework and take hard classes because I'm told to, but because I want to better myself. So my parents have just always been incredibly supportive of whatever I want to do. And they've allowed my house to be like a haven, really, where I go to school and I deal with the stresses of school, and then I come home and I don't have to be hounded about schoolwork, and I deal with everything on my own. And it's allowed me to be really successful because I'd much rather have support than
So you're recommending that to families that might be watching this?
Sure, yeah, just yes. Be so supportive of your kids, because high school is hard, and taking advanced classes, it's hard, and it takes a toll on you. But if you have a place where you feel really safe and comfortable, and it can help you so much. You've got to have some sort of relief from everything else.
So they're encouragers.
Yes, definitely. That's so important.
Either any of the rest of you have something that you think has contributed to you being where you are today? You mentioned a great teacher, particularly one teacher you mentioned, Ryan. Any of you have something else besides?
Well, I think for both of us, we were talking about APUSH, AP US History last year, with Mr. Morris and Miss Leeper. They prepared us definitely for higher level courses.
Like, I feel I can take on any college class
Yes.
after that class, because they pushed you to your limit, but it works now because
But
worth it.
now we can just sit down and just read college text, and it's just no big deal anymore. Before that, I couldn't sit down and read 60 to 80 pages, and I just couldn't. But now I can. So
like now
And
we have the
not
confidence.
whine.
Yeah. Now we have the confidence. We can take on anything after that. So we really pushed us and
Well,
prepared
all
us.
of you have mentioned the schools on your list are high academic schools, and so you were right. You're going to face that as the norm. That will be the norm. So I'm glad that you have had people who have, and I know all these teachers you have mentioned have great relationships with kids, but they know, sort of like you described your parents, they know how to not be badgering, but to help you to understand. Most of us don't realize how much capabilities we have. We don't necessarily tap all that we have been blessed with. So when we have a great teacher or professor that nudges us to do a little bit more, that yes, you can do a little bit more, I think that's a gift. Anyone else have something that you feel like has contributed to where you are today?
Well, my background's very similar to Audrey's, where my parents never laid out like, you have to do homework now, do this now, do this now. They let me, be very independent and decide on how I was going to do my schoolwork. I mean, they were very supportive, like you said, and my parents, especially my mom, never was like, let me see your report card, let me see your grade speed, let me check grades. She always just had confidence in me that I would do my best, and that almost like carried over into me and thinking, okay, I can do this. I can do all of this homework and not be stressed, because my parents weren't stressed out about it. I've seen some students whose parents are always on their butt about, getting the right grades, getting into this high SAT score, getting this college, and it just stresses them out, and I think they actually do worse because of it. So if you just have more of a supportive parent instead of ones that are nagging at you, I think you'll be way more successful.
Yeah, because my mom and my dad, they stress the notion that education is truly a stepping stone to future success. But they did that in a nurturing way. They just want me to be successful and me to do the best that I can. And I appreciate that from them.
Well, way to go. And I know they will hear this and have smiles on their face. I want to thank you all, and we welcome you back down the road when you are into your majors and as you close your schooling. And is it fair to say that most of you realize that you probably will go on to grad schools?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think so.
Good. Okay, I thought so. Thank you all very much, and I hope these last months in this phase of your life are some of the best ever.
Thank you.
Thank you.